All right, well, welcome to BarnBridge project called 004. We have a couple new people on the call today. I think we'll start off with Akin. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Keen Sawyer. I guess I've been around for a couple of weeks, but formally joined the week. My background mostly in management consulting, international development, and I've been in crypto space for the last 5 years. Mostly around sort of like financial applications in the crypto space, but also with a particular interest in governance and how networks are governed. Yep, so all that kind of brought me here.
Very cool. You guys probably seen him on some podcasts talking about BarnBridge. DeFi Dad, he was awesome on. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend checking it out. Another one, we'd like to introduce Mark Ward. Mark, would you like to go ahead?
Hey everyone, my name's Mark. I've been involved in crypto for about 8 months. I have a finance degree from the University of Tampa. I'm kind of new in crypto, but the reason I'm involved in BarnBridge is because I'm actually Tyler's younger brother. But I'm learning. I'm really enjoying this space. Actually, what brought me to be so excited about BarnBridge is kind of the same thing that Aiken was so brought to. I was really interested in the backside debt of a lot of these loans loans getting given out on the crypto side of finance. And I was just really interested by it, and it really pulled me in. I'm excited to be working with a lot of smart guys on this project.
Awesome. And then last but not least, we have Vitaly. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, guys. My name is Vitaly. I'm from Ukraine. I was studying computer engineering, software engineering in Poland. And then I get back to Ukraine. We started with Paulo, actually, marketing team, marketing agency. And we were working there like for some years. And then we started working with American partners, with American guys, and now we are working with Tyler and working with Proof Systems. And that's really great experience for us, really great to be here. Now we are in BarnBridge with Tyler and all of you guys, all great team, great, nice to be here, really. Sorry for boring a bit. Yeah.
No, all good. So you guys probably seen Vitaly and Pablo and Akin in the Discord. They're always in there doing the special agents. They're licensed to kill. So watch yourself around them.
We've got the band.
Okay. What's that? Yeah, they have the band hammer.
Yeah.
So let's jump into the actual agenda on the call. We're going to start off with the tech and development side. The first thing that we want to talk about was the yield farming. Everyone probably knows that we have launched the two products, the two pools now, and everything is running smoothly so far. Is there someone from the dev side who wanted to talk about that really quickly about the rollout?
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about it. So, I mean, like since the last community call, we basically launched everything, and we've been going into a mode of like resolving bugs and doing UI polishes. There are like two things that I do want to mention. First of all, the bug that we introduced with the epoch duration, that was like quickly fixed afterwards. I completely take that blame, and well, I mean, yeah, it's my blame. Merge the PR too fast, not enough code review. It was like too much changes were in there with the transactions being displayed properly with the graph showing. So it was like changing a lot of like logic in the front of that. But that was luckily we had Cassiano on the line and quickly resolved that in a couple of like I think it was like 1 hour after we've pushed that release out. And another thing we discovered, it was like the bug that I was like experiencing with the epoch showing at the end, that was like quickly resolved by Adi pretty fast. But basically, what I want to say is that we're going to go into a mode. We're going to, like do short releases unless we find like something really cool. That's where we're going to do like a quick fix. Barring that, we should, do more, like do a weekly release and go into more testing process. I mean, other updates, new wallets to be added, and that's basically the gist of it.
Was Wallet Connect added, by the way? I haven't checked that. I thought I saw an update in the GitHub around that.
It's being in testing right now.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So be on the lookout for that. And then the next thing we wanted to cover was the BarnBridge DAO, which the specs I think have pretty much been finalized. And Bogdan can probably give a better update on that than me.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I can take that one. Yeah, so for the DAO, we've actually made the spec public. So anyone interested, we've opened it up for the discussion last week. Anyone interested can go ask around Discord or search it. We're more than happy to share it again if you can't find it. We already received and incorporated some very good feedback on that. But as far as development goes, we're very much on track for the release. If not, we're a bit ahead of schedule. So we're deep into the smart contracts, the two modules. We're working on them in parallel, the staking and the voting modules. Design is almost close to being finished. Backend work has kicked off as well. And we're adding another front-end resource soon so we can tackle both the DAO and the smart yield at the same time.
I have a quick question. Is that Dropbox paper, has there been anything based on like community feedback that has changed anything about that paper? And the reason I'm asking is I think me and Pablo, Mark, Vitali, we need to take some of the stuff from that paper and we need to add it to the website and white paper because that paper is more up to date than the white paper at this point. So I just want to know if that Dropbox paper, anything changed about it. And like Bogdan, I can work with you on some of the details, but that's the reason I'm asking.
Yeah, that's one thing I also wanted to mention. We had those BBIPs that we published on GitHub, and the one we have for the DAO is more than just a bit outdated. We have to change it like almost entirely. Same goes for the white paper, but the Dropbox paper we have, the one with the BB DAO spec, that should be almost the finalized spec. All of the feedback we got was on comments on the site. Those are public as well. And the only things left to decide for that are the thresholds, but we need to model those out some more, and we'll end up on something eventually. But yeah, let's work together on that, Tyler, and add it in the white paper, and also edit the BBIPs.
Yeah, are the quorums and all that stuff? That's still not 100% decided, right?
Yeah, the acceptance criteria, essentially, those are not decided yet. They're dynamic, so they're based on the circulating supply, but the actual thresholds are not set in stone.
Okay.
Yeah, and those thresholds could be changed by the DAO itself.
Yeah, that's true.
In the future. Yeah.
Right. Okay, well, that's cool. That's really exciting because it does seem like we're a bit ahead of schedule on that one. So that's great. And then the next thing to talk about would be the Smart Yield Bond, the first actual product of the protocol. Milad, do you want to give an update on that?
Yeah, so we continued working on that this week as well. The equations are all final from my point of view. We should release the specs soon for comments from everyone. But yeah, everything's on track. We converged to a model that is a single pool, and junior tokens are fungible, and senior tokens are non-fungible. So yeah, that's a high-level overview.
Yeah, cool. I think I think a lot of people are looking forward to seeing the specs around all that, because there's been a bunch of questions in the Discord around how those products are going to function. So community, when that all comes out, we are looking forward to getting all your feedback and what you think around how that will operate. But everyone feels pretty confident in the current spec from what I can tell.
Yeah,
So
I would add to that, to the community, that we're actually ahead of schedule from a dev perspective on the DAO and Smart Yield. But we're going to have to go through more audits, probably internally and externally, that I think the high TVL justifies. Like if a certain amount of that rolls over, we need to be very careful about auditing like an actual product versus a yield farm. So they'll probably end up getting released at similar times, but at least like by the time it's getting audited, the community will be able to look into what we're actually doing. So I just want to set expectations to everybody.
yeah, that's a good segue into the last point of what we were going to talk about, was the audits. So we're going to get some very comprehensive audits done on both the DAO and the Smart Yield bond, just to make sure everyone feels secure using those products. So even though dev work is going really well, there's going to be obviously time between getting it done and then getting the audits, and that that is really going to determine the launch of everything. But we're still pretty much on track for Q1 of 2021, along with hopefully launching everything, or close to launching everything, around the end of January. That's what we're shooting for.
How far in this, actually, I've never thought about this till right now, but how far in should we be concerned if like we do an audit that takes, like if we do the right thing and get an audit and then we publish the code to the community, like, are we worried at all that like copy paste projects aren't just going to fork it and say, fuck it? I mean, is it safer for the community if we actually release the code open source for everybody to review after an audit's been completed? Like, what's everybody's thought on that? Like, it's not, I'm just spitballing an idea that I think is important. We go through a month-long audit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think we push out audited code first. You don't want to kind of give people that do have mal incentives kind of the same head start that you have an auditor to find a bug. You don't want to have smart contract hackers or whatever have the same lead time as an auditor to find a bug. So we'll probably get a internal audit, and then once that passes, then I think that's a good point. Push out the code to the community and have bounty programs, etc.
And also, I do want to add to that, it's like more to it than just smart contracts. So there's also the backend component, the front end component that makes the whole product, right? So it's, to your point about like copy pasting, that's the view I have.
Yeah, I think it's safer for the ecosystem that we release audited code anyway to be reviewed, because like it could get into like a Andre scenario that we're almost like we're like releasing code that people are going to deploy to prod, and like if we haven't audited it, then they're just going to turn around and blame us that there were bugs. So like it's safer for a lot of reasons that all right, cool, we're all on the same page. I just figured since the community is going to ask, I wanted to know the answer.
And then just from the chat, we're going to do a quick internal review of the Smart Yield spec. And then we'll push kind of that out for community commentary.
Yeah, we probably need to look it through one more time.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, we need to definitely review. So that's the update from the tech side. We're gonna start up the last part of the call, which is like the roundtable, where we answer the community questions. We got a pretty long question from the community around the bond token, and and asking us to incentivize long-term holding. My personal opinion is that the incentivization of the long-term holding, and if you go read the spec of the BB DAO, is that you will you time lock your tokens to get more voting power, which is what will incentivize long-term holding of the token, because it will be locked in the system for your voting power. I don't know. Does anyone else have an opinion around that?
I think that when people are talking about like long-term holding, they're obviously just talking about like price between now and like the actual DAO launches. And I think the community needs to understand, like, we can't talk about price. Like we don't have a product like that bond is able to be staked on for voting purposes. So like when this is all said and done, we're going to like the community will have control over this protocol far earlier than like a compound type governance, a Uniswap type governance. So if we can like hit the ground running with a successful product, then the community can start making some of these decisions. Like the purpose right now is to distribute the token so that we don't have to make these decisions in a silo. They'll start being much more group run. And so between now and then, like, I don't think that the community should be encouraging us to talk about price or argue about it. Like, you're putting us in a very tough situation where like we all believe in this project, right? We can't sit in Discord and tell you that like we're planning on mooning the price or something like that. Like that's like regulators are going to get pissed if we, I mean, like, so I don't want to get in like a catch-22 scenario with the community that you're looking for an answer different than the one you're getting on this call. Like we can't talk about price. You guys can talk about whatever you want when the community is running the DAO, which will be very soon, like much sooner than other like bellwether DeFi projects.
I'd say from an investor perspective, obviously token prices is a relevant thing to note here, and the lack of kind of long-term holding incentives is well understood by the whole team here. We see this as like an accumulation period. You have essentially only opportunity costs to yield farm the token, and if you want to have the increased incentive by being in the LP pool on Uniswap, then you have a token that you yield farmed for other than kind of smart contract risk and opportunity costs, essentially for free. And you can put it up against USDC and earn additional rewards. Short-term price is not kind of the goal of the team here. We're building product and we're building a path to decentralization and to DAO governance. That's about it.
Well said. I think it's also just really important that the whole yield farming mechanism is designed to bootstrap and build a community. It's not really there for trading. That was the idea behind it, at least. So I think we've done a pretty good job personally. Things could have gone a lot worse, and things are still pretty good over here. So, you know, take your position accordingly, understand the risks, and do what you got to do. Is there anything else that anyone on this call would like to go over? Tyler, I think I saw you there for a second. Did you want to say something?
I was just gonna say that at some point, when we do release some of the yield specs, we should try to figure out how I think the community will have questions about how the smart yield product is going to accrue fees to the treasury, which is important because it like affects the long-term sustainability of the project, that we have a solid economic fly loop. So I do think that like we want to talk to the community on, you know, when we release those specs for smart yield, like we can start having some of those conversations. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, I mean, or even just if the community wants stuff built that that there will be like, I mean, like for developers in the ecosystem, like there will be things that you can look at, and like the treasury is going to be controlled by the community. So like, it's not up to us on this call, like how everything gets built long term. So like, it's important to know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, one thing that we're talking about is actually using the BB DAO to launch the smart yield bond product, right? So it will be almost completely community driven immediately at the start.
Are
So
there more community tokens out right now than there are team? And so like it's already community distributed. Like there's substantially more tokens that have been given to the community than everyone on this call. So I mean, from day one, like we're not going to be making all these decisions.
yeah. Okay. I think we've covered pretty much everything we needed to go over. Heads down, still going. A lot of work to still be done. It's all about the products. So the team's hard at work.
The final thing I'll say is going forward to the community, because I don't want to get on a slippery slope each week where we're like recording a video that could like put the whole team in danger. Like if we say something wrong or misleading or open ourselves up to get sued because like, you know, someone thinks that they got like, we're not aware of like risk somewhere and are affected by price. We should honestly like make a rule going forward that we're not answering price calls on community calls. Like we can't do it. It's not a good look.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good look. So
Tell them to watch this video. If they ask, be like, watch this video, and then it'll be on YouTube.
Yep. Okay. Well, with that, I think we're going to conclude this project call. So everyone have a great rest of the day, night, wherever you are. And we'll see you all in 2 weeks. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
No,
Adios.
thank you. You know what's gonna happen, right? Cry. Last. It's all good. It's just a cat I have running around, so you can do whatever you want with this little fellow,
You
which
find
is not that little. I use it for like exercise.
working out,
Yeah.
pumping iron. All right, Dragos. I'll catch you later, man. You have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.
See ya.